Welcome to the lecture series number 3 of our studies of anthropology of religion. Today what we're going to do is analyze what is it from the ancient past that can help us to understand the present day religious traditions that are taking place here in California. This lecture is called Oaxacalifornia, and the idea is to explore how the anthropological perspectives helps us find answers to things that are not visible and are not obtained by interviewing the participants of the rituals, meaning what there is to do with the anthropological approach, which is use various data to make assessments and give explanations of the societal phenomena. In this chapter, we're going to bring together themes from chapter 2, which is in this case the nature of myths, the importance of narratives and stories, and how the nature of myths allows us to get a framework for religious beliefs and practices. Here, what we have here in this first image is just a reminder of what are we talking about. We're talking about an indigenous tradition. Therefore, I've placed a map of North American indigenous language. We can think of a map of cultural areas of North and Central America. Now, why are nature myths so important or so interesting for the anthropological perspective? Well, because that we know that these myths and these narratives tells us the origins of things. They usually prescribe rules, right? Articulate the ethical and moral principles of society, and very interestingly, these ideas exist either as text or as oral narratives in non-literal societies. Sometimes the involvement of bodily practices such as dancing is a fundamental part of transmitting these oral narratives, these myths, these performances. It is important that we keep an idea of the typologies that we've explored earlier with these ideas of band, tribes, chiefdoms, and states in terms of typologies used to talk about social organizations. Now, when we think about the native beliefs in the Americas, we have to think that they are very similar to shamanism from the Tungus regions of Siberia and to the animism world of the Shinto religions of Japan. Also very important is to realize that what we see in Latin America is a big, deep syncretism of Catholic and Islamic traditions that already before coming to the Americas converged over the old Etruscan, Phoenicians, Egyptians, Bedouin, Greek, Roman, Celtic, Hindu, and Persian gods. Therefore, the history of religion is basic to understanding present-day belief systems, even among mystic people from Santiago Yuxtlahuaca, which is the region where we are going now. This is a map, a regional map of Oaxaca, and as you can see, the state of Oaxaca, you can think kind of is a belly part of the Mexican nation. And very interestingly, you might think, how is it that the people from Santiago Yuxtlahuaca is a district of the Mixtec region of the state, how is it that these people from the Mixtec region of Yuxtlahuaca are putting on devil masks and dancing here in California? First of all, under the guise of a Catholic tradition, a celebration of a patron saint. Who is this patron saint? Well, this patron saint is Saint James, Santiago. In the Spanish-speaking world, we call him Santiago. In the English-speaking world, his name is Saint James. If you know anything about the stories of Jesus, this is the moment to recall them, because, as you know, Saint James is a very important apostle of Jesus. We'll go a little bit review a little bit of his history in a little bit. For the moment, let's get acquainted with these lands of the state of Oaxaca, present-day nation of Mexico. Important to see that these are different linguistic and cultural regions. They call the Mixtec region, the region of the Costa, the region of the Istmo. This is the Sierra Sur, Valles Centrales, Sierra Norte, and the area of Papaloapan. If you ever travel to Oaxaca, the most likely thing is that you will end up going to the Valles Centrales, where the main cities are. Anyways, Let's move back because this is a present day kind of cultural map, and our idea is to get a little bit of understanding of why is it that the people from the mystic region of Yuxtlahuaca are so keen of the devil. Well, the answer relies in the ancient past. This is just a glimpse of a map of ancient cities. Some of these cities lived more than 2,000 years. Some of them had a less lived sequence. Either way, they represent more than 4,000 years of state-level organizations. Okay? By the time the Spanish arrive, this is the orange part, which would be the Aztec Empire. Up until today, most of the regions of the early Aztec Empire are still named with Nahuatl names, even though Nahuatl, which is the language of the Aztecs, is not the language of the peoples of Oaxaca, for example. Therefore, Mixtec is a word that was given to this region by the Nahuatl Aztec Empire. So that's just a little caveat there to keep in mind. Now this area here would be where the Olmec heads are from. The birth of the civilizations are traced to these areas here, Tres Zapotes, particularly San Lorenzo and La Venta. This would be the Olmec region. Here would be the Maya area. The Maya area is highly diverse. Interestingly enough, in this green area, they don't include here, but it should be Caminaljuyu, present-day Guatemala City, certainly a Maya site, such as our other areas down here. So it's interesting that they are not included in this map. So either way, in order to even get a glimpse of what's going on with these devil dancers of Yuxtlahuaca, we need to be aware of the ancient history of Mesoamerica, for which we will review in a later lecture. At the moment, let's just review a bit of what you've already watched in the documentary that I assigned for you of the history of the devil, and how is it that the devil arrives to these territories, and the devil will arrive to these territories and mix with the people's belief systems, in this case with here, the Mixtec region that was particularly under the domain of the Aztec peoples of here of Mexico City. Very important to see that these are Mexico City, the city of Tenochtitlan, and this will be the Mixtec region. We'll continue on video 2.